think we all deserve to know what we come from.
Randy and I met at BYU, and I had transferred from UC San Diego as a senior. And within a few months, we're engaged, and I always made fun of people who did that. So I went back to San Diego at Christmas break, and I was eating humble pie, and it's the best decision I ever made, ever. We got married in June, we met in August, and we both graduated. And then I went on and did a master's degree and a PhD, and my husband worked. And then when I was done, then I supported him. He played on a mini tour for golf. He was going to go into professional golf, and we really had a lot of fun. So it was kind of fun that we didn't have kids right then.
Fun and games accomplished, the couple decided to start a family, a process that would end up taking years of infertility treatment. Finally, the test came back positive.
We got pregnant, we were so excited. We had the little ultrasound thing, and Randy had it on his computer, and he was showing it to people in the grocery store, and it was really exciting. We felt like, oh, we'd finally climbed the mountain and we were at the top.
But the happy news wouldn't last. 10 weeks into the pregnancy, Kaitlyn tragically lost the baby.
When we came home from the hospital to our apartment, it was just dark, and we jumped in bed, and it was about 3 in the morning, and my closet door was half open, and it was just really dark in the room and really extra dark in my closet. And I just kept looking at that, and it kind of looked like the ultrasound that was just black and empty. It's like a death. It's the death of a dream, and that dream that we had to build a family. In the morning, we called our parents, and we first called Randy's mom. And the first thing she said is, we just need to get you a baby. You need to just adopt. And Randy was like, oh, this is it. This is great. Let's do this. And he hung up the phone and headed out to take a physics final. And I was like, okay, wait, what just happened? What just happened? What are we doing here?
It certainly wasn't what the couple had originally planned, but if it meant a family, they were more than willing to give adoption a try.
I had a dream that I had this child, and she had a note pinned to her shirt with a little safety pin that had my name on it. Like she was my kid, but it was strange, but I remember it really clearly, and it makes perfect sense now because I didn't birth her, and yet she was mine. And I knew in my heart that there were children there, but couldn't figure out how in the world to get them here.
I was 18 when I got pregnant, and then turned 19 during the pregnancy. It wasn't like a surprise at all, in the sense that me and her father at the time were not being very careful. We were very involved, very, in love, and just, I don't know. And I think young enough to be naive about how much of a possibility that was.
Not being ready to raise a child, Marion decided to place the child up for adoption in hopes of giving her a better future.
I remember very often thinking, when I read about them or when I see their picture or whatever, I'll just know it.
Bio after bio after bio, but the feeling never came.
I knew financially I was not ready to be a parent. Knew emotionally I probably wasn't ready to be a parent. So I don't think I questioned the adoption as much as just, why is it not working out?
Kaitlyn and Randy went to work filling out paperwork, spending hours and hours writing and rewriting the perfect adoption profile.
You go through tons of pictures to get the 10 perfect ones. You write draft of different letters to the birth mother. And it's like critical, because what if that's your baby, but you don't present it right, and that baby doesn't come to your family? And that would be a travesty.
I remember one of the silliest things that, but at the time it struck a chord with me, was in their thing they said that he could do the Donald Duck voice, like Randy, and that my dad can do that too. So, so that was like the first thing that I was like, oh, first hint that I had, like, oh, maybe this could be a good couple. The last night I was in the hospital, I asked to have her brought in the room. They brought her in, and I sat in this little chair in the hospital room and held her, and just had another kind of a feeling, a confirmation that I just can't explain it, but felt it in my heart, my soul, that this was the right thing to do, that this was truly what was better for her.
I was getting ready to fly out to Utah to do some infertility, and we got a phone call from our worker, and he said, there's a baby that's half Korean and that's chosen you. Do you want us to still consider it?
On their paperwork, the worker had marked the box for half instead of a fourth. It was a mistake Kaitlyn had noticed weeks earlier, but for some reason had felt prompted not to fix. As they drove to the airport for another round of infertility treatment, the couple wondered if this was finally their chance.
I swear to you, every Asian person in San Diego was around us. We had cars, and they were beautiful, the most beautiful Asian people you'd ever seen in your life. Every car next to us, front of us, behind us, Asians. We're walking through the airport. Asian people. I remember the cutest Asian baby with her mother in a stroller. I was unbelievable. The Asians that came out that day to confirm to us, yes, to say, no, this is your baby. This is your baby.
With certainty in their hearts, the couple went to pick up their new baby girl, thrilled that the dream of having their own family was finally coming true.
It was magical and wonderful, and all of that emptiness that we felt when we came home from the emergency room that night, it was filled.
Before leaving the adoption agency with Kaitlyn, the couple had a chance to meet with Marion face to face.
It was like I had known them before. It was, it was just a very touching, strong feeling that that I was waiting for. Like, this is it, these are the people that she's meant to be with.
And just like that, Kaitlyn became part of the family. Friends and relatives were overjoyed that the Lundells finally had a child in their lives.
I don't think we even had a crib the first night. It didn't matter. We had so much love, and it's that confirmation that she was meant to be ours.
With so much love, the Lundells were able to put all differences aside and start a family where it did not matter what you looked like on the outside. It was all about what was on the inside.
I was 6 when I got, 6, Mom? 6 when I got highlights for the first time. And I remember sitting in the back, and, like the McDonald's Happy Meals. I was so mad that I didn't have blonde hair like my mom. I remember there was this pink dress, little blonde Polly Pocket, and I was so mad because I wanted to look like that freaking Polly Pocket.
From the back seat, I hear this thump. She throws the Barbie up and she goes, "Why do I not look like you, Mommy? This Barbie's got white hair and I don't like it."
And so I remember going home and I think crying about it and be like, why don't I have the same hair color as you? My mom was like, "Kate, give me an hour. We can go get your hair done."
So that was really the first time it came up, is why don't I have hair that's your color? And then it came up when she was 6 and I'm like, hey, give me 2 hours. We highlighted her hair, we turned that hair blonde. She's like, oh, that was easy. Like, it's not the outside stuff that's hard. We can fix almost anything. It's what's in your heart.
That was really cool of her to do that, because not only did she teach me that I'm allowed to be whatever I want to be, and if I want to change something, that it can be done like that, but that I am my mother's daughter. You know what I mean? I am hers and she is my mom. And it was never, I had to have blonde hair to be like my mom, or I was like my mom. I sounded like my mom, and I was like my mom because I chose to be like my mom.
Kaitlyn wanted her daughter to know that even though she was adopted, it came from a long legacy of love.
We tried to really normalize it, and we told her before she could understand that she was adopted and that it was this incredible legacy of love, and it was something to be so proud of. That was a conscious decision that we made at the very beginning, to make sure that all of our kids knew that they were the product of the most loving, selfless gift that anyone could give.
Kaitlyn was exactly what the couple had been waiting for. Since it had worked so well the first time, Randy was ready to try again.
He's like, we got to do this again. I was like, oh my gosh, no. This is like Las Vegas. You go, you've won the jackpot, now turn around and walk away. It's just so, it couldn't possibly get any better. And he's like, no, we got to do it, we got to do it.
They began the process all over again. Within a few months, the phone call came again.
So Kaitlyn and I got in the car, we drove down to the school. Randy was in medical school, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you gotta hear this. And he's like, I gunned a boy. This is awesome, I gunned a boy.
It was just the thing the family of 3 had been waiting for. And the moment they saw the new baby, they knew he was meant to be a part of their family.
When we came home, we had him in a little bassinet, and we were all at the table. And of course, our family had gotten in the car, driven all night to be there, and she wanted to make sure that we pulled Riley up in his little bassinet and that we held hands with him so that he was part of our little circle at the table. And so here's all the people sitting at the table, and then there's a bassinet scooted in between, and we're all holding hands. She wanted to make sure that he felt a part of the family. They've been best friends their whole life.
Now having 2 children, the blended family was even happier and felt extremely blessed for their 2 little miracles. The parents continued to remind their children that they were adopted due to the greatest act of love. There were no secrets, only acceptance.
This is how we have a family. This is how we're family. And really, you don't get caught up in how they look, because everyone has their own different look.
I never saw anything different about it. I just, that's my sister. It's not a big problem.
Adoption is a really strong process, a very powerful spiritual process where you know that those babies are meant to be in your family.
Though the Lundells were extremely happy with their 2 children, they started to feel like there was something missing in their lives.
We had a little picture of me and Randy and Kaitlyn and Riley, and then we had a little white wicker chair in the picture, and we said someone is missing in our family, and that was Bailey. We didn't know what was going to happen. We thought, well, maybe we'll have our own homemade baby, but we knew that someone was missing, and it didn't matter how they came. We just wanted to fill that little chair in our picture.
With papers in, the phone call came again, this time for an African-American girl.
And the minute we laid eyes on her, oh, we knew she was our baby and she was home. She's a real gift to me. It was really fun being in Georgia with all the ethnicity there, to be a white girl with a beautiful little black baby. And we had the funnest interactions with all those wonderful black people, and they looked at us like, all right, you're one of us. And I was like, I am? That's awesome.
Adding a 3rd child filled that empty chair in their hearts. Though most people openly accepted the diversity in their family, strangers made odd comments when noticing the visual skin tone difference between her and the kids.
I had at least 5 times where people thought that I was the nanny, because here I have these different ethnicity kids, and they're like, so do you take care of them? I'm like, yeah, I do. Like, you work on weekends? Oh yeah, 24/7, the whole thing.
Yoda.
Catherine didn't mind the confusion or ignorance of the part of some people. She was thrilled to have her children, no matter how they came to her. After years of infertility, Catherine was able to have 2 natural-born babies.
When we finally got pregnant and we're carrying to term our first homemade baby, who's Mark, so number 4, I was telling my friends, and they thought I was crazy. I said, well, how do I really know that this baby's meant to be mine? And they're like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, well, he could have just jumped in. How would you know? And because I'd had such strong confirmations for all my other children that they were meant to be my children, that I was praying, give me some kind of confirmation that this is my baby, that he's meant to be mine.
You got some apple slice! Apple slice! Yeah! Apple slice! Yummy!
After one homemade baby came another. Little Ty made 5 kids, and the family was complete.
Yeah! Go! 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 Go!
Yay!
Just a second when I broke it, just let and we can love again.
The Lundells continued to grow together, rejoicing in their differences and the miracle they had of finding each other.
I think actually that we're more than a family than most people. I think, of course, every family has their issues, right? But an issue that has never been, something that's never been an issue in my family is that we don't think that we belong. Like, we know, there's no doubt in my mind that I'm supposed to be in this family. Like, there's no doubt. And meeting my birth parents honestly solidified that for me even more. Like, there's no doubt that Randy and Catherine are my parents, and that they were supposed to be my parents, and that they will always be my parents no matter what. And I think I feel the same way about my siblings. There is no doubt in my mind. And I think that, it's funny, because when kids used to tease me about it, they're like, well, your parents gave you up. And I was like, yeah, well, your parents are stuck with you. My parents got to choose me. Are you kidding? You know what I mean? Like, and I think that is so true. Like, my parents chose me, and they specifically picked me to be in their family, which is the greatest honor. And I think every single one of my siblings can feel that way too.
I would wonder about her from time to time, like definitely think about her on her birthday every year. You know, every birthday I had to do the math, figure out how old she was. And, you know, I mean, you go through all sorts of thoughts. You go through thoughts like, what would it be like if she was with me right now? Like what, you know, based on what's going on in my life right now, like, you know, you kind of like role play in your head maybe like, you know, she'd be going to school or she'd be doing this and I'd be going to work. And, you know, you just kind of think about what it would be like if I'd kept her, you know, what things would be going on. Wondering always, of course, if she like, you know, future, like if she would ever want to find me someday. So just kind of looked forward to that, I guess, you know, whether it was when she was 18 or when she was 30 or whatever age she was, just kind of imagined how it would be.
Kaitlyn dreamt her entire life of meeting her birth mom.
On my 18th birthday, I kind of had this fantasy in my mind that she would just show up and be here and find me, you know, and that is not how it worked out at all.
Like, I want to meet her, but I'm not like crazy like Kaitlyn. Like, if I don't meet her, that's okay. But Kaitlyn, if she didn't meet her, she would cry.
I always cared about her. Every birthday for sure. I was always wondering how she was, what she was doing, where she was.
All Kaitlyn really knew about her birth mom was her first and last name, but with today's technology, it was enough.
I was 16, I think, when my mom found her on Facebook, right? Which is, we're not supposed to do that. But she remembered her last name, and she found her on Facebook. So we were kind of stalking her. And then one day, I just was like, you know what? I'm gonna message her. It's Christmas. And so I messaged her when I was 16 on Christmas. And I was like, I love you. Thank you for everything you've done for me. You know, just yada, yada, yada. I'm your daughter. It's nice to meet you, you know. And I waited and waited and waited, and she never read it.
During the next 2 years, Kaitlyn sent more messages, but they still went unanswered.
Me, being the little stalker that I am, I got on the internet and I just researched the crap out of her name. And so I literally found every single person that ever had the name Marion Alt anywhere, you know. And then eventually I found her birthday, and then I did both of the searches at the same time, and I found an address. And I didn't know if it was a current address or an old address, so I just decided to send a graduation announcement. It was pretty close to the time that I was graduating, so I marked it up with the address that was available on white pages, and I sent it, and I wrote a little note at the bottom that said, thank you, I love you, or something, you know, just so hopefully she would get it.
The day I got the graduation announcement, to me was the first time she had tried to contact me. I wasn't aware of any prior, you know, attempts. So that was my, like, you know, big, crazy, emotional day when I opened up that graduation announcement. And then immediately my husband, who's more social media inclined than I am, immediately went on to go find them on Facebook. And I think he found her mom first. And within like an hour after I opened the announcement, we were chatting on Facebook, you know, messaging each other back and forth. And then all of a sudden, as I'm talking to her back and forth, Kaitlyn sends me a friend request. And I accept it right away. And it was after I accepted it that I got all these messages.
The day that she got it, she saw my messages on Facebook and she wrote me back. And we just, paragraphs and paragraphs of just all of this incredible stuff. And we were like, we gotta meet each other. Finally met her, and she just ran through my door, and I just couldn't stop crying. She just couldn't stop crying. It's crazy.
I would have been happy just with the graduation announcement, just to see pictures and see, like, kind of hear about what she's doing, but then to like be able to actually talk to her and, you know, and then finally meet her and hear like her feelings towards me. Like, it's mind blowing. It was just more than I could have imagined. it's awesome to make a choice like that, you know, and it's such a hard thing to go through and a hard choice to make. And then some people never get that confirmation, you know. They go their whole lives just kind of wondering, you know, always in the back of their minds, like, and I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to go my whole life. I didn't have to wonder forever, you know. I now I know, and it's really cool.
Oh my gracious. It was like 18 years hadn't even gone by. She was exactly how I remembered her. My love for her and my bond with her was as if no time had passed. It was incredible. It's clearly something that is an earthly thing that we're doing here, but was clearly set up before we came to this earth.
Again, it's just a confirmation that she was with the right people, you know, the right family to guide her through this life, you know. I don't doubt that if I had made a different decision that she would not be the same person she is today. She really is amazing.
In the end, it's the people you sit around the table with, laugh with, share the special moments with, who truly become your family. Where you come from becomes less important as love fills the void.
Adoption is a really strong process, or a very powerful spiritual process where you know that those babies are meant to be in your family. Those spirits are meant to be in your family. It doesn't matter what they look like. It doesn't matter where they came from. Their spirits are meant to be raised in your home.
It doesn't matter whether they're from somebody else's tummy or they're from my mom's, you know, like, you just know that they're supposed to be there.
I don't even think family's strictly defined by blood or anything like that. Family's just really what you care about the most, who's there for you.
From outsiders looking in, I understand how it's different and I understand how it's weird. But race, ethnicity, backgrounds, it just means nothing, especially when there's so much love present.
Families are made by souls and by spirits. They're not made by bodies.